I'm going to test the battery, see if there's charge on here. And I'm just going to double check to make sure which one is the start and which one is the auxiliary from the factory. There's the battery here under the seat, and then the one under the hood, which is right here. And then we'll test this one. This is your ground, so I'll hook the clamp. There's some exposed cable there. And this should light up too if it has power. But this one's dead. Nothing. I'll hook it to the bolt on that side. Still nothing. So this battery's not doing anything. Okay, so I've disconnected the battery under the passenger seat, and I'm going to put the ignition in and try to see if this thing will start. Yeah, it's got power. Let the glow plugs heat up here. Okay, so definitely the battery under the hood is the start battery. But I want to see, if I put a test light on here, if there's a charge coming back. I should put a gauge on there, but you see the lights on, so we got power. As soon as the ignition comes on, we got power here. But the battery itself is dead. So again, I just check it again. We got no power. The battery is dead. But we got power coming to it, so it should have been charging when I was driving this, and I did take it for a test run. So we got 3 dead batteries and 1 good one under the hood. Okay, I just put this on temporarily so that we don't short it out. When the ignition's not on, there's no power there, so it's coming from the charging system, the alternator. But I'm going to take the battery out because it's no good. And then I believe that wire, we'll get a better look, I believe the wire goes under the floor and into there. So I'm probably going to pull the driver's seat off too, and just disconnect that cable under there, just so we don't have any accidents until we figure out which batteries we're going to use. Okay, you can see that this battery is a sealed unit. It's encased with this cover here, battery cover, and it's got this little venting tube on the side. You'll see the clear one. It runs down through the floor here, down at the bottom. So I'm going to disconnect that because I'm going to take the battery out. And that's so that the gases from the battery, because this is a liquid battery, it has the sulfuric acid in there, and it'll have lead. So you don't want that getting into the passenger carriage at all. So that's why it's in a sealed unit. But this battery has to be replaced. So it's no good. Okay, so the battery's out. It needs to be really cleaned in here. This is the battery tray, which is factory installed. So this is why I'm not going to put the S-Bar D2 diesel heater in here, because there's too much to get into. Like you can see, the floor is got a wedge shape angle to it, which creates the platform for the tray. So I don't want to mess with that. I'm going to leave that alone. And has the proper vent tube and all that, so I'm just going to leave that alone. We just need to replace the battery, and that's okay. But I'm probably going to open up in here and see what's in there as well. Okay, I disconnected the wire that goes to the seat. It runs through here. I'm going to open this up. Looks like it needs a big clean too. But if you ever touch any wires in here, you really should disconnect the starter battery as well, just to make sure there's no power back here. Before I do a final disconnect with the start battery and then I can clean this thing out, I just want to see which one of these hot lines, the positive lines, are connected to the starter battery and which one is the auxiliary battery. So I've already got the clip hooked to the ground here, and that definitely lights up, so that's connected to the starter battery for sure. And this one here doesn't light up at all. Okay, so I disconnected this one wire here at the positive post on the starter battery, and I'll show you that in a second. It's not lighting up. Okay, so this is the only wire I just took out, so this definitely goes under the driver's seat and connects to that one post, but there's a whole bunch of other power lines coming off here. So is that coming in from the alternator and bridging from there? But we'll look into that a little further. But I'm going to disconnect everything, and then that way we know for sure. Okay, everything is disconnected. I disconnected the ground first, and then all this at the front, so we have no power. It's just a fuse box, and everything runs off of there. So we got 200 amps, 70, 125, 125, 100. So here's the cable that came up from the starter battery under the hood. And once you turn the ignition on, then it sends a signal to the power. It'll power this up. It'll relay the switch over. And this cable runs down, and you can see it down on the floor there. And it'll coil around, and you can see right to the right side, it goes under the floor through here, through a channel, and then into the passenger seat base. So that is how the auxiliary battery gets charged up. Okay, so now I've disconnected the power cable, the positive cable that runs to the auxiliary battery under the passenger seat. But I'm going to test it just to make sure. So I'm going to hook up the battery again and start up the engine, and I will get access to there to see if that that cable is live, and then I know for sure that I've isolated it. Okay, always double check, safety first, and then I'll tape that off so that it doesn't accidentally touch again. Okay, so I got the battery, the starter battery under the hood is hooked up again, the ground hooked up, and when I check the connection back here, we got live juice again, and of course nothing here. Now I'll start it up. Power, power. So that's probably the wire that went under the passenger seat, and I'll double check that cable right now, make sure there's no power going to it, and I know I've isolated it. Okay, on the passenger side again, I got the one to the ground, and here's to the positive post, and we got no power, so I know I've isolated it. That's definitely the right cable. So we're good to go.
Since my baby left me. That's perfect.
Do that, Ted. Sing some more.
Do it again. I found a new place to dwell. It's down the end of Lonely Street called Heartbreak Hotel.
I feel so lonely.
Ooh. I feel so lonely, baby. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely I could die.
That's awesome.
Well.